why do customers always ask, how much do you charge? Why is that the first question that they're asking you? Well, when it comes to weddings, the reason they're asking that question is because they really just don't know what else to ask. And I know you've heard that before, but think about this. She's never planned an event of this scale before. And even if she has planned some of the things in it, maybe a big party or something like that, the scope of things that go into a wedding is much, much bigger, and the planning process usually takes much, much longer. So they don't know what to ask about this particular party. So even if they've hired a DJ for a small dance or something before, hiring a DJ for their wedding is different. Hiring somebody for their company function is different than hiring someone for their personal function, because their personal function, now this is, well, it's personal. It's all about them. So they're going to ask the question, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in an email, whether it's at a bridal show, whether it's in person when they come in, they're going to ask that question. Now, you know how to handle that when someone asks you that in person. You know how to handle that probably when someone asks you that on the phone. But of course, these days, they're not calling you as much as they are emailing you. So what I find interesting is that people think that because it's asked in an email, it's different than the same that if they're asking it on the phone. It's really not. Email is a form of communication. It's a natural form of communication for today's brides. So you need to get comfortable with that form of communication and answer that question the same way you do in person, on the phone, at a bridal show, however it is. And the way you're answering that is with other questions, letting her know that you will tell her how much, and you want to tell her how much. But you, of course, need to know some things from her to make sure that you're the right fit, make sure that you have what it is that she needs, make sure that she's asking you the right questions to get to the answers that she needs. And then once you've figured out if you're available and if you want the job, because sometimes you don't, then you can get to how much. So the first thing you're going to do, of course, is say, I'd love to tell you how much. It's just not an answer where I can just pull it out of my pocket and say, here it is, because I want to find out more about you and your wedding to make sure that we have exactly what you need so we can exceed your expectations. Now, you can do this in writing the same way you can do this on the phone, in person, and so forth. You just want to make it conversational. That's the biggest mistake I find in emails back and forth with brides and wedding professionals, is it's not conversational. You somehow think it's different because it's in an email, but it's not. And I have a whole presentation video about that. Please take a look at that while you're here on my TV site. But think of it as a conversation and have that back and forth. I had somebody say to me one time, you want me to go back and forth with a bride 17 times in email? And I said, no, I don't want you to do that. If you want her business, you will. But you don't have to do it. You just won't get her business. So think of it that way. Now, what's interesting when I get asked about that price question, we've done it ourselves time after time after time when we're the customer, but we don't think about it. I like telling a story about how I moved into a new house about a year ago. And when we moved in, we got a beautiful baby grand piano, and the sun was coming in over the window in the front door. Right above our front door, there's a big window. And the sun was coming in right on the piano. And I know that over time, it's going to ruin the finish. It's going to make it out of tune. The UV rays, it's going to be terrible for it. And I want to be able to give this piano to my kids and my grandkids and so forth. So what did I do? I went online and I did a search. And I typed in a long-tail search for a central New Jersey residential window tinting for UV protection. I got a few different places, and I sent them an email. And what do you think I asked? How much do you charge? Now that I think about it, it was a ridiculous question for me to ask. I didn't tell them how big the window was. I didn't tell them how many windows there were. I didn't know that there were different types of tinting, so it's not just, here's the tint, yes or no, take it or leave it. So asking how much was really the wrong question. I should have been saying, can you tell me about the different types of tint, and can you tell me what I need to give you so that you can tell me how much it would cost? And then somebody emailed me back, actually called me 15 minutes later, and we set up an appointment. Somebody else emailed me on Monday, because it was a Saturday when I sent them an email. Monday I got a phone call, made an appointment with them, got my education, chose between the companies. By the way, I emailed 3 people. The third company still hasn't responded, and the tinting's been done for 8 months. So I'm just saying they're not interested in my business. But I did exactly what brides do to you. I did the same thing that you do when you're shopping for something and you don't know how much it is. So rather than faulting her for doing that, expect it. And when she doesn't ask how much first, be happily surprised instead of, oh, here's another one asking how much. Expect that it's going to happen. Then when it happens, you're not surprised by it. You'll know exactly how to handle it. You'll handle it well by having it as a conversation, whether it's email, in person, on the phone, at a bridal show, however it is that she's communicating with you. So that's what you should be doing, and that's what you should be thinking about when it comes to why someone says to you, how much do you charge? She's doing what you would do. So think about it. You know how to handle that, and you'll do a lot better job if you just don't get upset when she says it, but you expect it. Good luck for you. While you're here, take a look around at the site. If you have any questions about this, feel free to email me at alan@alanberg.com. Go to alanberg.com, take a look around at my books and DVDs, and of course, while you're here at alanberg.tv, look around at the other videos that are available. Thanks for watching.